live now. Get the message out. Good morning. This is British Lebanese. It may be good afternoon to some of you, and it may be good evening to others. All of which I equally say good morning to you, unless you're a cult lover, in which I salute you with my left hand. This is going to be a podcast exposing what happened to me over the Christmas period. I would very much like, if my audience could get the message out. Today I'm going to be speaking. And unlike most of you lot out there, I only put one sugar in mine, but you've got to use 3 of these here because they want to make you feel like you're using too many. And they're ever so shrinking containers and products, and they're ever so expanding prices. Anyway, finance. I'm going to be talking in English most of the time on this podcast, but I will be talking some Arabic. So if you catch me speaking Arabic, it will only be momentarily while I have to get out today. It is not by choice that I do this. I'm trying to find a spot that's quiet. I've walked into several places, including the ones I planned to, and was unable to go in because you have to book it to go in and do your podcast, and you have to be a membership. So you hang in there with me while I just get this. Get the message out. This will be discussing events that are happening in Lebanon right now. Welcome if you just joined us. This is British Lebanese, coming to you from London's Shoreditch. It's been a while since I've done a proper live podcast. This won't be a short one. I was arrested over the Christmas period unlawfully. I'll be discussing that. I'll be discussing the events in Lebanon, in Syria, in Palestine. I'll be discussing my quote presidential case and updating the public with my presidential case. And I'll be starting this podcast off with a tweet that I sent out over the Christmas period, which was a text message that I received from Jeremy Corbyn's brother. You hear that? Piers Corbyn. And I haven't put any gel on my hair, perhaps I should do. But he looks pretty much like this when I put only water, it fluffs up like it does now, and I've been out in the cold, so it blows all over the place unless I put gel on it or some kind of mousse. And then it turns white, but it turns white like this when it's dry, but when it's wet it turns dark. In case someone thinks I'm dyeing my hair. No, I'm not at all. Far from it. I've got nothing to hide. I don't want to alter anything on my body other than my belly. But that's been altered by no fault of my own, because as you may or may not know, I'm a 17-day hunger striker who did hunger striking not because of going out there and throwing myself on the platform of protesting in the streets for this, that, or any other pivotal subject that impacted you to go out and protest in what's clearly a word abused today, this protest, the word protest, like there is on all words of definitions that they have. It is no longer what we used to know and enjoy as protest, is it? Protesting was defined differently back in the days. Check my tweet while you're here, share the message. I have managed, after numerous emails to the YouTube and its staff, I've managed to reach the legal team, and I came at them with an angle of them showing me a video as to the nature why they strike me, or what, I don't know what the terminology is. But I found out that when you get to the legal department in YouTube, and they forward you, they priorly forward you these YouTubes saying what your YouTubes are like. They have words of terrorism or something like that, or deemed terroristic, and then they go into as if while you're talking, as if you're sensationalising terrorism. When you say actually the opposite. I'm the niche in the market that watch yourself, by the way. I'm the niche in the market. Watch yourself and what you're tweeting, what your messages you're sending, by the way. Yeah, I'll just block you and I'll remove you from here. Maybe lose track. So the legal department forwarded me a YouTube suggesting that I must not, like, as if I'm sensationalising terrorism or something. I can't remember what it was. But I wrote back to them and I accused them of defamation on me, and I accused them of legally insinuating that what I've been saying in my YouTubes as some kind of terroristic way, because they slit them into those segments of what they deem as lawful and not lawful in their terms and all that. So basically, to cut a very long story short, I've stopped them from stopping me from being demonetised. So I'm not monetised yet, but I have to get about 500 people, I think, or 1,000 people to get monetised. So now I'm out of the shadow, not out of the shadow, but I can be monetised if I get a certain amount of followers. So with only about 360 of you subscribing to me, you ain't going to get the information coming live to you, because I'm a raw talker and I don't know how long I'll last on YouTube, because I'm not going to bend over for YouTube's terms and terminology. If they want to stop me from doing a YouTube, then so be it. Stop me. I'll just go elsewhere. And I'll be covering Upscrolled as well. I'll be talking in all sorts of different angles, so forgive me, I'm not scripted. I am not a YouTuber. I never wanted to come on YouTube here. I'm forced to because of Lebanese embassy here in London have failed me. And as a result of that, today I sent out a blog on my Twitter You may want to read it. So look up, I do blog. Look up on my Twitter account, click on debunking tips, one word, and click on reply. Yeah? Click on reply on everybody you see on Twitter, because you ain't going to see some of the tweets that they retweet, they send out. Yeah, some of them will be not visible on their timelines, like the ones you respond to. So you'll see a blog there. I was arrested over the Christmas period. Where shall I start, for God's sake? See, I was arrested, I believe it was on the 30th of December, after at least 3 months prior to that of my welfare benefits being disrupted. And I put something on my timeline there. Is this tit for tat retaliation for me going to Islington Council's main office at 222 Upper Street and doing the Unit 8200 video? If you look down on my YouTubes, you'll see the Unit 8200 video. The reason why I said Unit 8200 video is someone used to work there, used to work for them. And it was exposed by Electric Intifada at the time. And they blocked me since for me exposing them, sensationalising some of the stuff that they've got. And believe you and I, if there's anybody who's trained in neuro-linguistical practitioner skills, I'm telling you, yeah, it's that son of a government official or politician, Ali Abu Nimba. Yeah, I mean, Ali Abu gatekeeper, really. What does he bring out? What does he bring out that most of us don't already know, and have sources that are coming from other people who are not as known as the others that he employs? Because let's face it, he does sensationalise his videos, and they'll show you scenes. I don't know all their names, but one of them who's got glasses on, the English guy, or the white guy, he'll bring in scenes of, say for example, a bulldozer or a tank, and he'll go into it and he'll micromanage the scene, and there'll be some kind of noise in the background, that sound in the background, and he'll turn it into as if it's some kind of a film, and it ain't. And they'll start to talk about numbers this and statistics this, and these things that these, I don't know what type of people that they aim to appeal to when they sensationalise it. I mean, it is evil. It is. They also prey on your empathy, your how can I say, when the violins are playing and it puts you into an emotional state and it draws you in. That is what he's doing. That is what Ali Abu Nimba does. Yeah, and I fucking hate it. I absolutely, it's my first swear word. I hate the sensationalising of what's happening in Palestine. Yeah. And so you check it next time, you'll see him. You'll see his previous podcasts. And if I haven't given length as to the examples, who gives a shit here? I'm not a journalist or anything like those who are trying to size me up to which one's got bigger cock than the other, because I'm an IT professional here. I'm here to debunk what I see in front of me as a British Lebanese from a personal capacity. I don't support political parties or anything like that. Now we'll be talking about my arrest. It does involve Piers Corbyn and Jeremy Corbyn, and it continues to involve Jeremy Corbyn and others. And that Unit 8200 video was done because my welfare benefits are terrorised, i.e. me being paid less than I should. And they made sure of that, not just me as in a British Lebanese, but they made sure that they apply this, going back to the date of maybe for as long as we can remember, but certainly through when I was made redundant around 2008, and the days of the Occupy were evident. Those were the days where I was receiving, I don't know, I think it was about 57 or 61 pound a week. Hello, from £600 a day, to the credit crunch that I experienced and went through, and then to be earning 50 or I showed a gyro on my YouTube to the public of what they put me on. But they definitely meant to do that because they want to stop you Arabs, you Muslims, from going out and being free and receiving your welfare benefits correctly and squeezing your balls so that you fall and become that little flea in the jar where you can't jump higher than only a certain extent because you're limited around the money, the welfare benefits that they give you. Now, I know exactly what I'm talking about here because I used to run a government contract. I used to be the job club leader for Kentish Town, and then which was for a Jewish firm actually. So subsequently Fulham and Chelsea, and as of my experience, I understand how they cut your welfare benefits, and they did exactly that for me over the last 3-4 months. They've been terrorising me with my welfare benefits, putting £31 a week in my welfare benefits from this so-called universal credit. And I will be talking about universal credit. I can't go into everything that I want to in this podcast, but I will split it into a couple of podcasts that I will do today. Because there are segments of it. For example, I want to talk about when I got arrested, why I got arrested. I want to talk about after I got arrested, because they took my mobile phone. I haven't had my mobile phone. I only got it back recently. They took it from me. And appealing to the public fell on deaf ears, and all you guys out that I threw my cockney onto you, cheers, serves you right. You know what? You call yourself Unity. You call yourself professors and all this beautiful, fantastically wonderful qualifications all you lot have in Lebanon, And you boast it. And you boast you're this and you're that, and you don't know fuck all about Unity. You absolutely don't know nothing. Right until right now, I haven't seen anyone talk to me about Unity and its powers and the significance. Maybe because if they do, they'll shut you down straight away. But I can certainly stimulate some of your journalists out there's central nervous systems with my discussions and my podcast that cause you to react. Some of you start writing articles about it, and I'm no stranger to it. You only have to remember when Hariri phoned me, Saeed Hariri, and the subsequent days after that. Every tweet I was tweeting, every discussion I was entering on tweet. The following days it was being discussed in newspapers, and they were bringing up these subjects without me knowing, without telling me, but they were doing that. And so I'm no stranger to that. No stranger to them hijacking my timeline, both east and west, and I've said it in my blog today, where both of them were trying to win my heart. I'm no stranger to that. Both powers, east and west powers, I'm talking about. And you know who you are. Your Sulaimans and your Hariris and even your resistances as well. You know who you are, you know who you are. And if you don't, or if you think that I'm way drifting off there, then you're the deluded person, because I certainly know what I'm talking about. And believe you or not, I wouldn't be confident in what I'm saying if I didn't. And I think the people would detect all this by now. So I tweet to Piers Corbyn saying to him, they're terrorising over Christmas. They're terrorising my welfare benefits. I was supposed to receive a certain amount, but then I was getting like 60-70% of what less than what I should have got. And then over the Christmas period, they decided not to pay me on the Christmas month of the 4-week payment I was supposed to get. Nah, they're not going to pay me. Why is that? Is it because I've done that Unit 8200 video exposing the maximisation team who were supposed to be helping me maximise my welfare benefits, but we're doing exactly the opposite? So I had to go and name names and do it live. 3,700 people went live to see it. And then he texted me back. And after I texted him telling him I've got no food in my fridge, he texted me back. This is Piers Corbyn, this is Jeremy Corbyn's brother here. He's a multi-millionaire. These are multi-millionaires. Yeah, I'm getting disrupted because somebody's phoning me. Yeah, I'm getting disrupted because somebody's phoning me. Someone deliberately knows I'm online and they're phoning me. But they've got to wait. Yeah, they've got to wait. And if you try it again, I'll block you. And I've just lost all my audience. So please, see if we can get them back. There's several hundred of you live now. You won't notice it, but I can see it. There was. So I was talking about Piers Corbyn, and I was talking about Jeremy Corbyn, and that was when it happened. And Piers Corbyn texts me back telling me that he's got no food in his fridge either. يعني عم يتمسخر علي. شو هالمسخرة؟ إنه تبعت لي text message تقول لي إنه أنت ما معك أكل بالراق. Because I said it. You're taking the piss. You're taking the piss. You're playing your little shitty class war shit on me. So I tweeted it out for the public to see it. But he didn't like it. And then he threatened me to call the police. This is Piers Corbyn. Yeah? Now, I'm going to show you a correlation between me criticising. When I criticised Jeremy Corbyn to my lawyers, it was Piers Corbyn who recommended me Saunders solicitors from two. And Piers Corbyn refers people to Saunders solicitors. And there's a guy called Gary, who's the one who is appointed or assigned to deal with the referrals of Piers Corbyn, so that you can understand how if you want a lawyer, yeah, it's only the lawyers that do the work upon the instructions of politicians. And it works both ways. Because it's the lawyers who contact the politicians, and it's the prosecution that contacts the politicians in those constituencies and ask them, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? Yeah? They bend over instead of use the law and the hours of study that they've done. Because they know they could do it, nobody could catch them or grass them up because they're part of the bar. And if you do that, then they'll strike you off. They'll take that license off of you left, right and centre. So they didn't pay me my money over the Christmas period. This is called state terrorism. And I'm educating you. I've been in London since 1973, right? I ain't your typical common Arab, right? My education is from here. It wasn't from Lebanon. I was in nursery when I came to this country. But I'm not blind, and I haven't lost my roots. Maybe I have. Maybe we all have. Not by fault. But we're all made to lose our roots, as they are doing now with this migrating of people. Like they're evicting them from houses and rehousing them elsewhere. But on a country state, mass migration. I heard today that they opened Rafah in Egypt, the borders. Breaking news. So let me come back to, you see, this is it. They ensured that I don't freshly tell everybody when I got arrested. And they took my phone and twisted my arm back again, yet again, and it's worse now than it was before. It is worse now than it was. It's painful every time. I can't use it properly. I can't use my arm. I tried to scratch my back last night. It started hurting me to the extent I started twisting around and feeling the pain. The CID didn't like me calling him a white boy. The CID who came to my house to arrest me over Christmas. Called him a white cunt. He didn't like it, so he twisted my arm when he knows I'm a non-violent person. And he knows that that arm has been targeted before by police repetitively. And my shoulder. And they done something to my arm when they squeezed those cuffs on it. I don't know what it is, but there was 2 marks on my arm. I took a photograph of it off of a cheap phone. One of them cheap £30 phones you get. The picture isn't as good, but there's 2 marks that are distinguishedly close together. I don't know what kind of marks they are, where my arm is painful. And it's not the first time that I suspect they use some kind of tool that I'm not aware of. Not the first time. Behind your back, so that you can't see what they're doing. I don't know. Maybe I'll discuss that at length in private with a solicitor. So the reason why I got arrested was over they call it malicious communications. I sent a voicemail to my constituency. His name is Toby Alex North. You know that prep? يعني شو بدي أقول من هدول يلي ما فينا نحكي أساميهم، هالمسروعين، هالمخربين، هالمفشكلين. Pro that constituency. قلت له إنه أنا عندي outstanding matters بدي إياك resolve, some of which involve my housing matters. قلت له, I told him that if he wasn't going to help me, that I was going to go down there with my camera and a microphone on a public pavement. I'm going to do a live broadcast, just like I'm doing one right now in front of you. That's what I told him on a voicemail. He called the police and got me arrested. And he sent me an email. He told me he's informed the police. What did I say that was illegal? You debunking. You debunking. You debunking. What did I say? Section 33 of the Photography Act. When you go to a public pavement here in England, allows you to do that in public. So why arrest? Why arrest me? Why take me and arrest me? And terrorise me and imprison me and torture me? And then you present me with a shitty lawyer that I never asked for, or I never see any of them. You just gave me a lawyer that you wanted to give me. And then after he represent me, they drop my case. Fuckeries is this? Why did they drop my case? Most of the Jewish law firms in this country, I get. Why? Because most of them put themselves out there. All the police, they push all their work. Do you understand that? If I'm wrong, prove it. I'm a British Lebanese here in London since 1973. Yeah, I'm telling you it like it is. Yeah, there ain't no filter here, there ain't no editing here, there ain't no There are no guides here as far as I'm concerned guiding me, and there's no guide. There's no one telling me what to say or what to do. I speak from a personal capacity. So after Christmas, and I am going to talk about this at length, I told everybody, and I'll tell it again, I'm going to be doing another podcast because I don't feel totally comfortable and relaxed in this coffee shop. My destination of choice was blown out, and I didn't have plan B and plan C to do it where I could sit and speak openly. During that time of my arrest, my mum was submitted to the hospital. She was coughing up blood. No one had told me this. No one from my sisters. So there's a message out there. Any one of you who tried to, you want to understand, yeah, I don't talk to my sisters. They haven't done, most of them, for decades. جوزوا الشراميط اللي بيحبوا هالباسبور حيوان. Well, I don't get along with these kind of people, you know, these backward Arabs. Yeah, I'm educated from here. I'm different to them. Yeah, unless you're properly educated Lebanese. Yeah, no, I don't get along with those kind of people. Most of them are all impacted from the war. I'm talking about the residents impacted from the war, and they've handed those traits to their children, and their children have grown up in such a way where they've been impacted. But I haven't given a totally good example of that. I have done in the past anyway, so I'm not here to explain myself from that angle. But my mum was in hospital, coughing up blood, submitted on emergency. I had no money. Why? Why is that? Why do I have no money? Because the welfare system stopped my welfare benefits. Yeah? They're paying me drips and drabs. Yeah, stop paying me on the days they were going to pay me. Cut it down to less than about 40% of what I used to get. That is big. And then on the week of Christmas, on the month of Christmas, where I want to go and buy myself my monthly stuff and go and get my mum's stuff. Yeah, she's wheelchair bound, don't forget. She's got a fractured back and broken leg. مين بده يساعده؟ I'm the only son. مين بده يساعدها للماما؟ لحتى تفهموا terrorism that comes in all forms. يا لبنانيين اللي مفكرين حالهم انه عم try to size up what's happening to you in Lebanon. أنا ما عم بحكي عنكم. عم بحكي لكم. عم خبركم. عم عمر لكم فهمكم بالحق اللي عم يبين. وانا من بلد ما انا حيالله بلد. Whatever's happening here is coming to you. The laws that are here are coming to you. Just like your drones that are flying over your country, they're coming over to us, and they're going to be terrorizing us in the same way. Look now, we've got your dikes out in Lebanon now being pushed out and elevated in the form of politicians. Why is that? Most of the politicians that are around and the leaders and the presidents and prime minister are either homosexual or bisexual or lesbian or, you know, why is that? Why is it that when I actually say it, yeah, as a form of pattern of noticing things, that it can be perceived or deemed as hate? Why is it that when we come on social media, we are so ever scrutinized by your terms and conditions to the extent that these terms and conditions themselves, they are a class war? Because unless you are elevated in your A-levels in English language, or whichever language that you write with on social media, unless you went to private school where it was mandatory that they teach you law, yeah, then those people who are going to tweet and express themselves or talk on podcasts like me, who have no recollection of your broadcasting laws and of your journalistic laws and of your laws on reporting and broadcasting in general. So they pick us as easy prey. Yeah. So you've got to be more careful in the words that they use, because this is a class war. This is not less than a class war. Because if you had the money, yeah, or if you were educated properly, you word something differently rather than call someone a cunt, like us Cockney. And by the way, when we use that terminology, I want to remind you, public, yeah, anyone who lives within the Bow Bells, you know what the Bow Bells are? It's a church in Bow. Yeah. Are deemed as Cockney. If you within 4 miles of the Bow Bells, I think it's that, are deemed as Cockney. But it so happens I'm an East Central boy. I'm an East Central London boy, in actual fact. I'm not North London, I'm not East London, I'm not South London, I'm not West London. I'm an East Central London boy. And that's where I grew up since 1973, all right? And I could walk there from where I grew up. I could walk there within less than 30 minutes, 40 minutes. And all the people at my schools, they're always Cockney as I am. Yes, when we walk into an office environment or something like that, we alter our language, yeah? But when we're in a pub or when we're talking to each other, we talk normally. This is what we're doing as normally. And us who speak Cockney, there's a law in this country, in case you don't know it, because some of you get offended by me using the word cunt. No, I really don't give a toss. But you need to be explained, because this is unique to my area in England. This is exclusive to Bow. Yeah, to all round our area, East London, Central East London, North London. We speak Cockney. Profanity is our dialect. And Bill Maloney, if you look him up, Bill Maloney, who's the award-winning founder of Pie and Mash Films, which has nothing to do with abuse by politicians and that Prime Minister, I can't remember what it was, but one of the early days of just say when we were using the black and white tellies. Yeah, he was impacted by them. And when he was up at court, and it was a high court in Fleet Street, the highest court in the country, the way he spoke Cockney, we can't be seen as someone who is criminalising him for those words he says. It's his dialect. It is our culture. Yeah. So social media platforms are not aware of that, and they will always demonise us and persecute us for it. And people out in the world don't recognise that this is a dialect. Fuck you doesn't mean have sexual intercourse with you. It could mean a wider definition of things. It could be, hey, great, or you're better. It could mean, I don't want to go into it, yeah? I'm just giving you the outskirts of it. Coming back to my case. So I get arrested, get put in a cell, come back out. I sent that voicemail whilst I was trying to get accountability for all the outstanding cases that I've had with repairs in housing, my local council. There were outstanding compensations that were well due that I've already asked him about before. But you know these people, they love to help the Jews, don't they? So if you want your housing problems dealt with, yeah, become Jewish, yeah, and then you can get all sorts of help. You can even get charities that come and give you money for free. You can even get bank loans for free. Yeah, but all we us Lebanese got is 37 fucking billionaires. That's all we got. 37 billionaires. And then when I go on GoFundMe to get someone to help me get a phone, not one of you make no donations, not one of you. So قص اخت العرب بإجري يلعن دينكم, you know. This is my happy new year to you. يا لبنان. يا لبنان مش بس يا لبنان اللي بلبنان. يا لبنان يا expats, because most of you out there, yeah, you're cultistic. You're multi-millionaires. You're funded off of those billionaires. Yeah? Yeah, you lick arse. But us who speak with openness, we ain't got a leg to stand on. Us who don't even go out and protest, there's no respect there. There's no respect. Let me tell you why I criticise the Lebanese embassy here in London. They blocked me recently, slags. It's because they're Western backed. And to prove that, I had to get onto Facebook and tweet to Professor Ibrahim Moussaoui to forward my presidential case, which was with the Lebanese embassy. And let's not kid here, you know, I've already sat down with a former diplomat, you understand? Number 2 in the effing embassy. Number 2 has him Abdus Samad. Are you watching, yeah? Good morning with my right hand. My left hand. You idiot. Because that's what you are, and I'm putting you to shame and serves you right, because you are an idiot, because you made a promise to me, and then you backed off. You know, I'm Din Consul, you're a heartless and ruthless slime in our motherlands. No wonder Lebanon is not getting any progress, because it's got shit like you lot. It's got slime bags like you lot. Gangsters. Because that's what you are, you're gangsters. Even the former Ministry of Foreign Affairs tweeted that you are gangsters only a few days ago. That same former foreign minister, yeah, a woman who got attacked by a Lebanese politician, smashed her fucking door down. I've tweeted it out. You don't know about it. ما بتعرفوا القصة يلي وزيرة الفورن افيرز ما بعرف شو معناتها بالعربي. في واحد politician كسر له بابها. مين هو هذا politician؟ طلعوه جيبوه. أرجونا مين هذا الزلمة؟ شوفوها. I'm telling the public in Arabic. Yeah, who is it? That politician that threatened her and smashed her door down. She was in a government building and he smashed her. These are fucking ruthless people in Lebanon. Gangsters. I remember when Jabral Basil was tendering for contracts of Area 9, the oil. Do you remember that? And I called them gangsters when the other Aoun was president. Yeah, relatives. They all love to keep it in the family. They all fuck each other and keep it in the family. It's only coming out now. They're all shagging each other. I wonder which ones in Epstein's Island are from Lebanon now, eh? Already we've had one. Already we've had one. And I don't doubt that there's much more. Much more. So all you lot who wear a fish on your head, yeah? Whoa. You better stick with Christianity and Maroniteness instead of we go around spreading the Maronite religion with your dirty political agenda. I see a tweet that got deleted. I can't tweet about it. I don't want to go into that. Fuck that. But let's make no mistake, yeah? I'm a former friend. I'm a friend of the cousin of the former Maronite leader of Lebanon. So you lot out there, if you don't believe that, yeah, You don't know what you're talking about. I've known them since we were kids. When they came and told me, Sam, I am effectively Lebanese mafia. You think I didn't believe him? So we know the establishment, in Lebanon, and we know the people in Lebanon, and we know that it's a small country, and it's even smaller now. It's even smaller now because you journalists ain't got the bollocks to talk out what's happening to Lebanon. You're only talking drips and drabs. You say, oh, they built a wall here, where they're digging right into Lebanon. Nobody's doing nothing about it. And all you've got is your Naeem's giving it the big one with the turban on his head. Whatever it is you call it. I'm sorry if you might sound insulted, I'm not like you lot who are leader orientated. I'm not like that. Fuck that. I like the Green Book ideology. I'm not saying that we should follow that, but what I am saying is we get rid of the politicians, because direct democracy means that we don't need you to strip us from our taxes, to cause our sewages in Lebanon to come up and rise and infest. So every time the Gulf promises millions and millions of pounds for it to be disappeared through between all you politicians out there who bend over and take it. Every one of you politicians in Lebanon out there, you are guilty. You are guilty of not progress in Lebanon. Every one of you. Even the ones that call themselves anti. What have you done to Area 9? I'm not here to tell you to... what do you want me to say? I walked past their fucking head office. I walked past their head office in Baker Street. And it was noted down by police that I walked past their office. The ones that are drilling in Lebanese oil now in Area 9. Watch my podcast on Baker Street. I could have said a lot. I could have had much more involvement in what's happening out there in Lebanon. I could have been a higher flying platform. But why do I want that? Why? So that I can get sued and all that shit. I can't talk openly like I am now. Even though now everything I say, everything I do is being written down, it's been taken down by CID. CID ain't no fucking friends. They will have a list of things that they want to put on you on words that you say. And unless you are a highly educated with English grammar and law, you go on social media, you are sowing your fate with them. Some of the words I say here on social media, they will, or basically, if I was with you face to face, they won't be seen in the same way as if you write them down. If you write them down. If you say them on video, it gets personified. And they can hold that clip and repeat it and say, right, that's it, he said that. If he said that, we're going to conclude him as everything he thinks of upon this little scene or this second that was cut. And it was analysed, or whatever. So anyway, coming back to the arresting me over Christmas. So they terrorised me for my welfare benefits. My mum is in hospital. And over the Christmas period, and that whole monthly packet that I should have received, money, doesn't get given to me on Christmas. I don't get it until towards the end of Christmas and then after. And still today, about 52 odd pound they put in my account today. I went to see a organisation called Islington People's Rights, which I've used before. This is a, quote, charity. And they phoned me after Christmas. I'd phoned them and I'd sent them emails prior to Christmas, prior to me contacting my constituency, which led to me being arrested. Because I've got a pro-Israeli constituency there, I've said it now. And when I went down there, I sat with them, I showed them paperwork, they were demanding from me statements. They wanted to see my statements. What the fuck you want to see my statement for? Yeah, you're a charity. Yeah. And they said, oh, we want to see the transactions that gone into your account. Well, let me educate some of you out there who don't know about universal credit, right? Because it will touch into that. Because they've migrated me over to universal credit. And while they're doing it, they're deducting money from me. And then when I'm forced to take out a loan from them, they want to deduct that from me. Why? Because why am I taking out a loan? Because they've disrupted my welfare benefits for about 3-4 months. It's more than that now. That caused me to take out an advance from them. And then now that I've taken out advance through their flaws of all the intricacies and anomalies, and I ain't gone into them, and I did say I'll do a podcast about that alone because it'll be useful to the public. But when I inform and I go down there and I sit down with these Islington People's Rights, whose job it is they've studied maximising your welfare benefits, yeah. So they find out what the government you're entitled to, and they know all the guidelines. And it's them who are caseworkers, they're specialists in those fields. Now, when I forwarded mine, I said to them, well, you ain't getting my statement, yeah, because I ain't here to show you my statement. And then when I went to Halifax, I'll ring up the bank, and the bank are telling me, oh no, we'll just print out the whole statement. But when you go into the bank, say, hello there, yeah, can you just print me out, and you could do this, yeah, print me out all the welfare entries, money that went into my bank, print them out on their own, and they'll do that for you. But online, they won't tell you that, yeah, so I guess it will apply to any banks. So I forwarded that. They didn't like that, did they? Because they want to see how much you're spending, what you're fucking spending it on. So I can scrutinise you and fucking search it between your pubes. So, let me get another coffee. So these people, I sit down with them and I'll tell them about what happened to me, and I'll tell them about Jeremy Corbyn. And then when I get home, they said they're going to look into it, and I've been given a guy who's a senior, and I'm going to put his name up, Spriggs, yeah? He works for Islington People's Rights, IPS, Islington People's Rights. It's a charity. And this John Spriggs, I get told by his assistant Nelson, a Portuguese guy, that we only deal with communicating on email. I think, oh shit. They want this down on email. They want my communication with them on email if they want to be my caseworker. Well, I'm a raw writer, yeah? Like the email you see me, that blog you see me sent this morning, if you haven't, look it up. I sent a blog out this morning, it's on my timeline. Look up debunking tips, one word, on X, you'll see it. So I'm emailing and I'm telling them what Jeremy Corbyn did. And I'm telling them what Piers Corbyn did. As background to what's happened to me. And that my welfare benefits have been disrupted. And I get told that I've upset John Spriggs, whoever he is. I've upset John Spriggs because I wrote something about Jeremy Corbyn that he didn't like. And then I find out that Jeremy Corbyn is a trustee of this charity. Do you understand? Do you fucking understand? And John Spriggs gets his assistant, Nelson, to email me back, say to me, oh, we can't help you. You've hurt his feelings, or we can't help you. He's sick now. He's off work now. He's off for 2 weeks. Bollocks. Is he off for 2 weeks? So what? I hurt a caseworker's feelings. Let me get this straight. A senior caseworker whose job it is to maximise your welfare government benefits drops my case because I hurt his feelings, and the fucking trustee on the charity is Jeremy Corbyn. What is this? It's like a cartoon magazine like you're reading. So you drop my welfare benefits representing me. You drop representing me because I apparently was telling you on email about what Jeremy Corbyn did, and I hurt your fucking feelings. Are you a caseworker? Are you a trained caseworker? I'm here debunking you, or you are lucky that I haven't come round to your office and I've done a live podcast in front of the street where you are right now. Yeah, I'm addressing you, John Spriggs. And are you listening, Universal Credit heads? Because I spoke to you, Universal Credit manager. I've had 5 caseworkers on my case. 5 caseworkers chained, one of which was off for 5 weeks. And one of which tells me that, the others that you've been phoning through haven't raised the proper screens on the website in order to progress a contact this person, a referral to contact this person to get back to me. So for weeks I'm receiving benefits that have been slashed on my welfare benefit, terrorised, going hungry every week. But I don't say that, do I? I don't come out and say that, do I? But yeah, I do go hungry. But the moment when they took my mobile phone and I approached Lebanon, and essentially the Lebanese people, the Lebanese expat, the Arab crowd, نحن اللي بنحكي باللغة اللي عم بحكيكم. أنا خلقت بطرابلس يا جماعة. إيه؟ أنا ما ضيعت شو عم بيصير قدام عيوني وورا عيوني. أنا ما ضيعت. So here's a correlation. Saunders Solicitors was referred to me by Piers Corbyn, Jeremy Corbyn's brother. They dropped my case. Here's another correlation. The charity firm that's supposed to be maximising my welfare benefits, the fucking trustee is Jeremy Corbyn. So when I'm telling one of the senior caseworkers who's took on my case, drops my case because he gets offended. Why? What did I put down? I made it public. I fucking made it public. I showed and I DM'd on X what I'd said on the email. You tell me. Because I would normally go to a lawyer. Now I'm going on YouTube. Because most of the law firms that I approach are owned by Yahud. واللي مفكر حاله انه نحن بيجينا legal aid. صخت الكذاب. شو هو legal aid? It's a certain amount of money. And now that lawyers are complaining now, they're saying, oh, we get shit money for legal aid. Like, fuck you do. Ever since 9/11 has happened, we have had tens of thousands of laws that have come into effect. If not hundreds of thousands. I can't remember how many thousand. I've done a basic check on it. But who did I do it with? Google. thought control, thought control. They want you to do your think tank as Google to tell you the information that you want. So you can no longer think to yourself and outside the box like I do, like us free thinkers do. Salaam alaikum, welcome if you joined us. There's several thousand people live now. You won't be able to see it, but there are several thousand people live now. Let me see if I can move a little bit, get something to eat. Yeah, I would like you very much, please get the message out, yeah? I don't have any, I don't think I think I am shadow bound, but I've been removed off of being demonetized, so I need some followers to get on. I've got about 360 of you following me, but last year, 200,000 people watched my videos, just last year alone, 200,000. So how does that work out? How does that work out? This is British Lebanese. This ain't a show here. This ain't a soap here. You politicians who are continuously CC, I can CC for a reason. And though my tweets don't do me justice, yeah, I'm coming here to legitimise myself. I keep having white filter coffee. Can I have almond croissant as well, please? Yes, yeah, we're doing 2 podcasts today. I'm going to go into depth about it, about the arrest. So you see now, thank you, sir, the caseworker that is like a lawyer, like if you like, that fights for my welfare benefits. I don't have one anymore, so I've got none representing me right now. But I have managed to speak to Islington Law. And as a result of that, they've booked with me merci, thank you, sir. They've booked with me an appointment with on CCTV for the legal advice, which is, it's not right, is it? So that when I talk to you about helping you legally, put on a CCTV on a window, so the emotions completely leave, you know, the reality of it. It's all virtual now, isn't it? You know, when I say to him, I'm a 17-day hunger striker, first of all, that's shocking. Not everyone says that. So you explain it to someone who's going to be ever so judgmental on you. Yeah? You're not going to be able to analyse people, to talk to people, unless you're face to face properly, and so that you can read from them what they're talking about. Because let's face it, you know, most of the people that come on social media here, they put on an act, don't they? Yeah, and they try to think. People want them to think, don't they? When with me, I don't give a fucking toss what you think of me. I'm just here to get out my presidential case because I've given up on the legal jurisdiction system here, the judicial system. What's that geezer's name? Evo Morales, the former Bolivian leader said it is a judicial war, and he was so wrong. Judicial war, a judicial war. Now, let me address, while we're on the subject of, let me change the subject slightly here. So first of all, my welfare benefits are still being terrorised. واللبنانيين بدي فهمكم يا إذا ما بدكم تكونوا فهمانين I'll talk in Arabic here, I'll explain it in English. إذا ما بدكم تكونوا فهمانين شو معناتها unity, Yeah? Don't allow my videos, yeah? And I went into length, micromanaging the meaning and the definitions of unity, yeah? And I want to talk about scrolled. Yeah, yesterday, I'm warning the public right now, for a man who's a founder, a CEO of Scroll, who used to be backed by the, what's that? Oracle billionaire, the one that's the arse licker to Yahoo. Let me tell you something. When you're TikTok or whatever the other ones, Snapchat, whatever you want, I don't know what they are, and you've got all your eggs in these baskets, and then suddenly Upscroll comes in and says, yeah, come down there. And you got all the main ones up there, and your Upscroll is there. And you know that someone has just taken over one of the big main leaders, and you don't like him because he's a cult lover. Yeah? Yeah? What are you going to do? You're going to have plan B, plan C, and plan D. All of a sudden, like I've been addressing the fact of us Arabs being used as carcasses to voice their foreign agenda. Yeah? I see the CEO as one of them, not one of us. Now, perhaps it's early days, but I reiterate to the public, I spoke at great length about the IT sector. I went into it to the extent that I won't reverbalise some of it for all sorts of reasons. But I went into it, and I feel that I almost am obligated to go into some of it again, being someone in the IT background with over 27 years in the IT sector. So I will say again, in my next podcast. So in terms of Upscrolled, this man, in the same way as a traffic warden tends to be a black brother or black sister, black person, African, Caribbean, third world country, Asian, Indian, in the same way as they employ these people, this Palestinian geezer could well be that person. He could well know he may be innocent. He may think that he is. I mean, he may believe that he is. But if when you get that kind of intellect of people working in for these kind of upper echelons of firms like Hewlett Packard and Sun Microsystems, like my friend, my school class friend, check my timeline on debunking tips so you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. He's a teacher who teaches code. Top. He's the one who got an award off King of England, my school classmate. So when you want to talk about the IT sector, you have to understand that I've already been through the credit crunch. I've already working in the bank, supporting the banking sector. I've already seen how all the smaller firms in the IT sector have been gobbled up, and small business were the fundamental core of what makes the world go round. Small businesses, let alone the IT. So I've asked him a set of questions. This is the uprooted or whatever you are, upscrolled of questions. Answer them. Yeah, I address you, whatever your name is, it doesn't matter. I address you. Yeah. Answer those questions. Are you using any third-party vendors in the IT sector? Are you using any providers that offer a service that help you facilitate running the Upscrolled app? If so, state who they are. And why aren't you designed code for one that makes you not rely on those third-party vendors? Yeah, because I've unsubscribed to you. I've taken that app off my phone until you answer me. And shame on you, the rest of you out there, who sent your tweets to forward, especially you, Marwa's man, and I address you, Marwa's man, from Press TV. Why are you forwarding this person's upscroll app, not knowing the intricacies and the anomalies of his background? Well, you know it, but you don't obviously, you couldn't have obviously have studied it properly. Why is that? What has that app got inside it? Did you look at my tweet? This morning I tweeted McAfee, a interview he was doing where he mentioned giving out several laptops that he had put viruses in to senior members in the USA government. So watch that video, see what he said on that. But these people that I'm talking about, yeah, McAfee, it's the same. He's an absolute hero. I really have. I go into a bit of a state of. It's a shame that we lost such a good mind who had so much to offer us. But there are people out there who do know code. And I don't want to talk too much about it because I'm a British Lebanese and I'm in the IT field, and whatever I say is going to have some kind of something that they don't like. But what I will say is this, yeah. Check my videos. Some of them I can't tweet anymore. I can't actually put them on because I'm gagged for doing so, because certain people on them I can't mention them. But I am ashamed of this unity where now Upscrolled have got an excess of 2.5 million, and that Marwa Osman's tweet alone is the only reason why I started to follow him. Purely allowed herself to be used in that context. And I believe that if I was working for Oracle and then I left Oracle in rage, and then Oracle come back to me or sat down under the table when they're sitting down saying, yeah, we're going to be bidding for this, what was it called again? Oh, fucking hell. TikTok, and this other big firm, that they're going to be in control of it. So we've got to have plan C. And what better than to use a Palestinian geezer or an Arab or a Lebanese or a Syrian. In this case, it's Palestinian. So they'll get this geezer, say, right, here's a billion pound, right? You'll get half of it now, and the other half of it in shares. Build a website, yeah? He's going to do it, yeah? Especially if they're going to put a gun on his mum's head. And then he's going to come over and say, oh, I'm a Palestinian, my mama this, and my baba that, and my mama this, and my uncle's that, and I was born in this, and that. I've got an Australian account, but I've also in the Gulf. And all of a sudden, they've just used this typical traffic warden scenario case, where they employ them because they're the only people who do this is immoral jobs or undesired government foreign policy jobs that they push onto you. And then they've got your app. They've got all the details on your phone because you clicked on that app. What was it? There was a message that he sent on Upscroll. It said that Upscroll is deliberately using your location. It's automatically exposing your location. Hello? Is that not an alarm bell? What kind of fuckeries is that? Yeah? Well, I'm challenging you, yeah? CEO of Upscroll, answer my fucking questions. Yeah? If you don't like what I say, yeah? You don't know about us Cockney, yeah? Go and get to know us, yeah? We're all over the square mile. Yeah, we will wear £70 ties and £150 cufflinks and all that shit. We all been there, we all seen it, we got the t-shirt, we done it. Look, fuck speaking about him, this podcast is about me. So they terrorised me for making a video, I reckon, tit for tat, and showing you how they control your welfare benefits and they stop you from moving forward. Over the last couple of decades since I've been put in this redundancy from Hewlett Packard, they've controlled what I can do, what I can't do. Much of the days I can't go out, yeah, that's... Well, I'm so disappointed, Bill. Yeah, and you gave this geezer 2.5 fucking million followers. You couldn't even tweet to me to buy a new phone and inform you what's happened. Now I have to do it in drips and drabs, where half of it I can't bring up all freshly back into my mind. And doing it on a stupid podcast, with a bad camera like this one here, it's not going to get the viewers. I've done it before and I know. It just doesn't send you out into reach in that level of viewers I used to get. They made me turn into a fly in a jar. I can't just jump higher than a certain level. They drained me out of £29,000 through a court case that impacted me in such a way that even me now trying to seek accountability from those people who have been contacted by MI6, yeah? And they're no strangers. Chris Dorsey, former speaker on Press TV, Mariam Al-Laham, or whatever you want to call her, Syrian girl. I don't know why you lot call her Syrian girl. She's not Syrian. She's Assyrian. And she made that clear to me in a tweet. In the same way as Kevok made clear to me that he's Armenian. But we got all these Syrian people talking about Syria. Where are the ones that are talking about Lebanon? Where? I don't see them. Where Lebanese? And if you can't find Lebanese, then maybe you're looking in the wrong place. I am disgusted with the journalism in Lebanon and the coverage that's been given out now from all the sources that I've followed or I've spoke about. Disgusting. None of you do us any justice. work. I need to get out, have a cigarette, have a bit of a break from this. I've gone blank on what I want to say. Well, I'm going to do another podcast. Right. And I'm going to talk about Lebanon. In the meantime, can we have some subscribers? I need approximately 160 odd subscribers to reach a level where it puts me in a monetized situation. I've never been monetized. All it means is you click something. Yeah. For those of you who've earned money off of me, of my Lebanese tips. Much of the reason why I've been shadow banned is because the gambling terminologies, gambling terms and conditions on YouTube. So where you're making a profit from the information, including yesterday's tips that I gave out, I get nothing for it. So we're going to turn that around this year. No more sports tips on these podcasts. You can all fuck off. The ones you've shown me you're useless. In terms of showing your generosity like I show you mine. And then when I come the time that I'm in need of a mobile phone because I get arrested over Christmas, no money, no welfare money, mum in hospital. Yeah, I've tested it now, and I can assure you that GoFunding, I won't be using them again. They're fuckeries. And all you Lebanese people out there who are getting your timeline mesmerised by people like Dr. Radwan, yeah, that Palestinian Jordanian doctor who allegedly got herself struck off. First of all, yeah, I deem her as blanketing the news on Palestine. Yeah, I'm sick and tired of seeing her come up on my timeline and then her crying her eyes out when she's getting arrested, claiming that she's been arrested 3-4 times, and then coming down on social media and getting donations, and you lot giving her donations. This is a fucking doctor, yeah, who is willingly blanketing the news on الأخبار عن لبنان وعن فلسطين وعن سوريا. That's what she's doing. Fucking blanketing the news. Those people pushing your agenda. Those people pushing your strings. And get this message over to her so that she knows, yeah? Because I'm sick and tired of those who are running off of the name of Palestine or Syria or Lebanon, for that matter, yeah? And then preying on the blood of those dead like that. The blood of those have been impacted. I don't know who this doctor is, right? But let me tell you something, yeah? I don't protest, yeah? I don't protest and then come over and beg the public to help me with donations so I can get a legal cost. So she's pushing her line with the laws, yeah? Yeah? And you all give her voice, yeah? And people like, be careful, yeah? If you're an innocent doctor, well, I doubt that you are, because no woman that's come over to this country, Arab woman that's come over that haven't been intoxicated by the women superior, men inferior attitude that they're pushing across the world nowadays, because that's what I see right now. Yeah, they're trying to elevate the women, specifically the lesbians, the gays, the homosexuals. I've got nothing against them. Most of us with a sound, screwed on head. We don't prejudice against these kind of things, you know. I was arrested by a homosexual. The detective that I was arrested was a homosexual, albeit he was better than the other ones in terms of, when I say better, that's a wrong word. He didn't treat me as bad as the other ones, but that's because he was told. That was because he was told. That was because that by now, yeah, Lebanon and the whole fucking world, yeah, know that some of the contacts that I've been mentioning and exposing on social media are so powerful out there, yeah, that the message has got through. And if it happens to me, yeah, it's been known. So if you don't hear me tweet or on social media, yeah, alarm bells should be rung. And don't go around thinking for 1 minute that any member of my family represents me, because I'm here to tell you none of them do. Not one of them do. Not one of them phoned me when my mum was in hospital coughing up fucking blood after an emergency. ولا واحد منهم اتصلوا فيني وخبروني انه امك بالمستشفى. هذول الشراميط يلي مستلمينهم اليهود، يلي انا فسرت لكم بما فيديوز يلي ما فيني احكي عنهم. تذكروا على الفيديو اللي عملت ب Common Purpose Head Office. رجعوا على الفيديوز، رجعوا لريون Common Purpose Head Office. You need to understand why I done that video. You need to understand why I done all the videos that I done. Some of them are in disguise, some of them are giving out sports tips and may seem like that, or they're talking about King Robbo, but deep inside them, yeah, they will have messages out there of my presidential case. Yeah? Anyone tries to twist, by the way, I am DMing Professor Ibrahim Musawi, cussing him, slagging him down in private as well as in public. Yeah. Yeah. Because accountability, I requested it. The promises that were made. Promises that were made haven't been adhered to. So I forwarded information to him because I don't have an email. And the Lebanese embassy here in London, yeah? I don't know if I'm correct by this, but apparently a person called Berry, a lady called Berry, yeah, by the name of Berry, is the new ambassador of the UK embassy here. Now, I'm led to believe that she's the daughter or granddaughter of Nabi Berry, the speaker in Lebanon. And if that's the case, yeah, you lot are Shia. Yeah? If that's the case, then why isn't Ibrahim Musawi, yeah, pulling his strings to bring up my presidential case? Because it was quoted as a presidential case by Ali Bannout, who I met personally at Lebanese embassy. That little rat there who slagged down Professor Ibrahim Musawi to me on a phone call, and I've got it recorded. Yeah, I haven't made it public, but you know what? There's a lot that I haven't made public. If I do, yeah, they'll be pulling up their typical tit for tat and get me arrested. I've been on the phone for an hour and a half. I've been on social media for an hour and a half. I've got you up to a few thousand, not much. I haven't gone into what I really want to go into, but I've just given you a very brief description. My conclusion is I am disappointed with the Lebanese community across the world. Yeah, I think you lot have got a lot to learn. Yeah, and you've got no hope in achieving any accountability بلبنان. لأنه إذا أنا فيني أعمل تيست عليكم وأقول لكم إنه أنا I got arrested وعايزكم تساعدوني من شان نجيب تليفون. إذا ما فيني get any traction from any of that, then I'm here to educate you expats out there. Yeah. That you're doomed in every country that you're in. You're fucking doomed. ما في حدا ورا ظهركم ولا والهدول الحيوان اللي بيسموهم الجانجسترز، يلي بنفسهم ومنهم يلي بيسموا بعضهم جانجسترز. هدول الحيوان معروفين منكم Yeah. My advice to you in Lebanon, yeah. If you see anything flying over, yeah, I remind you what Nawaf al-Salam said. Shoot it. Shoot it. If you see anything flying above you, shoot it. That's what he said. That's what Nawaf Salam said. Yeah. And let me tell you something. Let me give you a bit of my little bit of energy here in Lebanon. Is your water and electricity still messed up? Are the prices of your food disrupted? If your water is cut off in the building that you're in, then President Michel Sleiman's house, the water in his house should be cut off. The electricity in his house should be cut off. If the water in the president's office, Babda Palace, President Naoun, or Basil, or Zaza, or Zmayel, or all the other sluts and the prostitutes to the cult, yeah? If your electricity is not working, or your food is expensive, and your gas, your water, then so should theirs. So should theirs. If your water is cut off, their fucking water should be cut off. If your electricity is cut off, their electricity is cut off. We got this thing called kettling here, whereby recently the police kettled protesters outside the prison here. I can't remember where, Broadmoor, whatever it was. They went round and they circulated all of them. Yeah, and then they arrested them. Well, you know where your prime ministers live, and you know where your presidents live. Why don't you go around and protest and circle their houses? Yeah, that's called impactful. Yeah. My view, yeah, is right now, what's left of Lebanon, everybody's left. What's left of Lebanon are the ones that are not educated, are the ones that can't afford to leave Lebanon, are the ones that just like how they want them, the ones that are quiet and don't say nothing and don't do nothing. If Lebanon transferred itself over to the Green Book ideology, yeah, you wouldn't have a need to call yourself a resistance. There will be a need to be a resistance. Because if you're all united and you don't appoint a leader, yeah, because that's where you go wrong, where you appoint a Christian, a Maronite, a Hanafi, a Druzi, a Shi'i, all this bollocks. Get rid of them and make Lebanon a presidentless state, not a governable state. The ideology of the Green Book should be the way forward now, because of reconciliation and change. You can't win against the ruler. I can't come on YouTube here and say we need to do this, we need to do that, we need to do that. I can't do that because I'll get arrested for it and none of you will give a shit. But we ain't got enough people talking about Lebanon. And I've tested you lot out. You ain't worth me coming on YouTube, exposing to you my information, revealing information that could be used by prosecution against me. Disappointment with the Lebanese all over the country, all over the world. Yeah, most of you ain't got the bollocks to come on social media and talk. Most of you will have a grudge with something that's happened about Lebanon and want to use some punch bag to get to. But the bottom line is, يا جماعة يلي أنا بطلب منكم إنه فيقوا, wake up, yeah. وإذا ما بدكم ياني احكي انتوا الخسرانين. I'm welcomed in the social media. I've already been exposed whether I like it or not. I don't have to contribute anything to any of you because you've shown me that you are not worth contributing to. And I address you, Professor Ibrahim Musawi and Sheikh Saeed Hariri and Michel Suleiman, yeah? Shame on you. Shame on you. I'm going to leave these words to shame on you for failing to do something. You're multi-millionaires. You're multi-millionaires. And you've done nothing on my presidential case. My other podcasts are coming through, and believe you or not, right now I'm not 100%, but I will be breaking it down and bringing it. In the meantime, get the message out, send over the request for my expats to subscribe to me. I need at least 150 odd subscribers to reach 500. That's it really. بدي اترككم شو بدنا نقول لكم غير اليونيتي. فهموا اليونيتي، بلشوا تفهموا شو معناتها يونيتي وشو فينا نعمل عشان نظبط الامور. We should be working now towards bringing the expats together across the world in a unity of a charity, of a foundation where it benefits us and our every day-to-day vital needs. We need a defence mechanism to protect us and defend us. It needs to have plan A, plan B, plan C. Yeah, we need to have more concern for our people. Our country is diminishing. We need to be on the active and assertive alert on how we could help it. And we can't stop everything, can we? Yeah? But there's certain things that we could do to steer it. We can do that. We are in control of that. I don't think that it won't be of any use, because some of it is significant. It's important. And it is in our control. On that note, stay tuned for a podcast later. And message to Yusuf Raghi. I urge you, resign.